Welcome, friends, haters, gentle lovers, and feeders. Join me as we experience together the most bafflingly interesting person on the internet. On today's episode, Amberlynn Reed does basically nothing. Hello, my friends. So Amberlynn uploaded her 4th episode of Let's Talk. This is the one where she just asks herself questions the whole episode and glazes herself the whole time. And this one's called Getting Trolled / Called Out by Viewers. So I'm guessing she's going to actually pick some questions that might, give her some pushback. But I think it's just going to be more opportunity to play the victim again. And then relied on Destiny while Beck relied on me. I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, let's just find out. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not going to lie.
Hey guys, welcome to a new Let's Talk video. So we're just gonna get right into it. So first things first is Sweet and Sour. It's where I use a random comment generator from the last week's episode. I choose random comments. I literally choose the ones that pop up first. So this is a...
Yeah, so last week she did use a few comments that weren't super nice, but they were ones that she was real quick to answer. I don't know if you've noticed that, but she immediately comes out with whatever answer she has to say, and it's already she doesn't stumble over it. She doesn't have to think about it. It's just like that. She's got the answer. And we know Amberlynn. She's not that quick.
A way for me not to pick and choose, so let's get into it. Black Cat Mama said, maybe they AI their voice, shrug emoji. So for the ones that do sound like an AI voice, I have also...
Oh yeah, just happened to randomly pick a comment talking about the AI that she's been bitching about. She's 2 videos now she's tried to say that she's not using AI. And that just happened to be the first comment that she picked out. Yeah, okay. And it happened to be one that's on her side. The comment is basically saying maybe the people that sent in those questions used AI for their own voice. Girl, you make it too obvious that you're lying about how you're doing this.
Also thought that because people brought it to my attention. I didn't think it at first, but when people did bring it to my attention, I was like, maybe people just don't want their voice to be in my videos, which is okay. Muted Sound 54.
Again, it's a comment about AI. Now, I will admit that AI is sort of a hot topic right now in her stuff because we're all pretty convinced she's using at least some AI in her questions from her last Let's Talk. But yeah, no, she's picking these, especially something like this, because she can pretend like she's being bullied by this.
4 said, at 1938 is AI. What's your obsession with men calling you cute, weirdo? So if it is AI, I wouldn't know because I'm not the one sending the voice memos in. And I don't understand your question. So because someone called me cute, it means I'm obsessed with them calling me cute. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, she clearly doesn't get it. I think she's being intentionally stupid in this moment, right? Or ignorant. Because obviously what they're saying is you are creating AI voices that tell you you're cute. And that's weird. Because there's not a guy that's going to send you a voice message saying you're cute. So the fact that she's like, just because somebody else calls me cute, that makes me obsessed. No, you called yourself cute. You, as the AI voice guy, called yourself cute. And that is weird.
Elizabeth Sullivan 2965 said, I'm a lesbian. He is a man. Okay, but Dalton though? All right, I think you need a little bit of reminding. So let me help you. All
right, real quick, before she does this, what she's talking about here is one of the questions was about her flirting or kind of hitting on Yo Mama in DMs. And one of her responses to that was, I'm a lesbian. He's a man. Think about that.
Could you please clarify your relationship with Yo Mama? I've received confirmation that his wife discovered inappropriate conversations between the 2 of you and asked him to stop talking to you. A lot of people thumbs this up and it makes me very uncomfortable. Me and Yo Mama have never spoken privately, not ever. The only communications that have ever happened has been him speaking to me publicly, through a live stream, or me mentioning him in a YouTube video. And I'm a lesbian. He is a man. So think about that for a minute.
And then a lot of people were like, yeah, but you were hitting on and having phone relations with Dalton. So what would be the difference? So let's see what she says about that.
This whole Alexis Dalton thing is not okay. She's bringing up a situation that I had with someone during like a vulnerable time in my life. 2023 was a crazy year for me. I shared that I was turning to alcohol because I genuinely was. I was depressed, heartbroken, lonely. I was going through a lot and I felt myself turning to people and to situations and things I normally wouldn't have. I did reply to Dalton. He was making me feel good about myself where I felt bad. Yeah, it felt weird to me. One night I got extremely drunk and he ended up calling me and things went to a different level than they probably would have if I was sober. Like, I feel awful saying that out loud. It wasn't my finest moment. I was really drunk. I was sad. I guess I just wanted to feel something other than like the sadness and the depression I was going through in that moment.
So this whole thing is just a pity party. This is just sympathy bait because she's kind of missing the point of the question. The idea was it has happened with a guy before. So, and I see what she's saying is like it happened in a vulnerable time, but the person's just saying it's happened with a guy before. So it doesn't seem all that out of the realm of possibility that it could happen again, especially with her snarky, I'm a lesbian. He's a guy. Think about it. You know, she was real sassy about it when it's happened. So you can't very well get mad at us for saying, yeah, but this has happened before.
Plus, I was really drunk. My brain was not fully there. Sexuality can be and is fluid, but I am a lesbian. Turning a vulnerable night for me, where I was in a vulnerable state and I made a decision that I normally wouldn't have, turning that into a like way to monetize something that should not be monetized is crazy work. But it didn't feel right to me. In my gut, it did not feel right to me. And genuinely, I think questioning people's sexuality is like the weirdest, most oddest thing in the world. And as a lesbian who was ashamed,
nobody's questioning your sexuality. I mean, people are questioning her sexuality, but they're just saying when you have an attitude about it and saying, I'm a lesbian, duh. And we know for a fact that you have had, even though it wasn't like real relations, but you have had an encounter with a guy. So you don't get to have an attitude about it when it has happened before.
all of my teenage years because I like the same sex, like it is genuinely insulting.
A normal person would have heard that question and gone, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I know it's happened before, but I promise that was like a one-time thing and it would never happen again, that kind of thing. But she's got to turn it around to be the victim.
Barry said, can you please change tea or tail to just tail? Because every single thing has just been tail. I try so hard to find rumors that are actually real, but most of the shit that is real, I just literally admit to anyways. And I'm like, yep, that's real. That did happen.
What? Oh my God, shut up. She is really out here saying that she's just coming on her videos going, yeah, that thing you're hearing about, it totally happened. Yeah. Please show me an example. Please, I would love to see an example of that, Amber, because I don't think so. I don't think that's maybe ever happened that you have said, yeah, there's a rumor going around that such and such is happening, and it's true. Like, bullshit. Anytime anybody says anything about anything, you are always the first to start denying it, denying it, denying it. And we all knew from the moment she introduced, quote unquote, tea or tail, that she was going to deny all the rumors. Everything was going to be tail. And that is exactly what has happened.
A lot of rumors are really just that, rumors. It's things that people want to believe are real, so it's just my way to dispel those. Soup60.
So then they're right. Tea or tail is just tail. That's all she's doing is pretending to debunk rumors. But first of all, the ones that she has picked have been really stupid. Ones that I don't think anybody's even talking about. But the ones that are really like serious that people want to know about, she's just not going to talk about them, you know? But and even the ones that are kind of juicy or whatever, of course, she just denies them. She denies everything. Okay, so this one says, stop freaking crying. And of course, you know, she's going to turn this into another way to play the victim. She's going to talk about regulating her emotions and BPD and crap. And she's going to be like, stop emotion shaming or mental health shaming.
I'm sorry. I cry a lot. I'm very sensitive. Hard for me to regulate my emotions. I feel
Ayo. I just
things at an extreme level. EMS ABZ 9326 said, almost all of these voice memos are AI generated. She's literally making them. You can even hear the way she talks in each of them.
So I know I have said this a few times now, but it is now blatantly obvious that she is picking these questions. Because once the reaction channels start talking about something or the community starts talking about something, Amberlynn, even though she claims she never reads the comments and she never knows what's going on or any of the rumors, and the only way she finds out is that people DM her, but as soon as people start talking about stuff, she has to address it because she is so thin-skinned and so self-conscious and so immature. She cannot help herself. She has to talk about it. So she's going through, because she really wants to try to convince everybody that she's not using AI. But just notice the questions that she picks are indicative of what is bothering her, what she really wants to convince us about, AI and the Dalton thing. So she goes through and she sees the questions that really get under her skin, and she wants to address it.
I have not made a single voice memo. They're all from real people who have sent them to me. And all of these rumors, it makes the people who have actually sent these voice memos to me, it's making them realize more than ever that all of these crazy rumors that people say about me are false and untrue.
There are only two options, because some of the voices are 100% guaranteed absolutely AI. So either they're being sent to her as AI or she's making them as AI. So those people who sent those AI voices, what's happening is they are hearing people be like, hey, these are AI. And they're going, wow, people figured that out, So no, it's not proving that you are so mistreated and that all these rumors are untrue, because there are AI voices in your Linterview section. There just are. I think it just shows that people have ears and can hear it.
Oh my God, I love you so much. I was just wondering if you could teach me how to count calories. I would love to gain 200 pounds. And I just wanted to let you know that Choosy is my favorite game. Don't listen to the hate.
So I don't know if you noticed, but did you hear the breathing in that? Some people were like, you can always tell it's AI because they're not breathing, but just listen.
Oh my God, I love you so much. I was just wondering.
Just giving you a little sample of an accent with breathing.
Are false and untrue.
Also, false and untrue are the exact same thing.
And it also goes to show that literally some people can be so delusional. The fact that you think that you can hear me inside of other people's voices when literally none of these are me. These are all sent to me by viewers, by subscribers, by people on Instagram, by people who genuinely want to.
Well, people aren't saying that they can hear you. They're just saying that they can hear your style of talking, some of the words you say and some of the phrases you say and kind of the way you talk. It kind of shows up in some of these, but I will say just, there is a chance that some other people are sending in AI voices. Honestly, if I had to guess, because we are now pretty damn sure that Amberlynn is just a liar to lie. She just enjoys lying. So I would not be surprised if she had Eric or somebody sending her AI stuff, just typing stuff out and sending it to her. But I don't know.
To ask me questions. This whole AI situation type deal that has been created around voice memos is insane work. Before AI was even invented at the level that it is now, I used to do things like this. I have done voice memos in the past. I used to actually show Snapchat videos of people asking me questions.
Hey girl, so I've been following you pretty consistently since the pandemic started.
Hey Amberlynn, it's Maggie. So Becky said you were a good singer. Why don't you sing Malibu by Miley Cyrus for us?
Are there any Lego sets or Lego adjacent sets that you have your eye on?
Hey Amberlynn, so my question is, if you could only eat at one restaurant for the rest of your life.
And that was when I only had 13,000 subscribers. Now I have almost 250,000.
Yeah, that doesn't really prove anything. All that shows is that back then, people didn't know how awful you were. And as time has gone on, you have gotten more and more of a reputation. So people are far more likely to send you negative comments. The problem is, every voice message you've gotten so far has been kissing your ass. That's the suspicious part. So she's not wrong. She does get some people that send stuff in, like for sure. But again, there is definitely AI being used regardless. But for the ones that are not AI, she is cherry picking them. She wants you to believe that she is randomly picking these voices or these voice memos. But the percentage of haters versus actual supporters is so heavily weighted on the haters side that that's just not possible. There's just no way that every single voice memo she's gotten so far has been supportive.
All right, so now let's get into Sippin' Community, where I leave a community tab every single week for you guys to talk about concerns, topics, ask me questions, whatever it may be. So let's get into it.
Something I'm noticing, she doesn't have a community tab. I'm not sure when it got banned again or whatever is happening to it, but it is not here. So she's saying she left a community post for people to talk to her about stuff, but I'm not sure when that was and when her community tab got taken away, because it ain't here anymore. So just to give you an idea, right here it says Home Videos Shorts Live Store. Okay. And you'll see here for under the hood, it says Home Videos Shorts Playlists Posts. Amberlynn is missing her posts. This is where the community tab would be. So I just thought that was funny.
Why do you go after married couples? I don't. I have only ever talked to one person who's been married, and they messaged me first, and I was under the impression that they were actually single in an open marriage and only together for financial.
Again, she lies about everything so much that I would not be surprised at all if she's sliding into married people's DMs all the time. And I'm sure somebody who's watching this will know of an example. Like there is probably somebody who has either received one or there's been somebody on Reddit or Kiwi Farms or something has mentioned getting a DM from Amberlynn or, knowing about somebody who got a DM from Amberlynn who's married. So I think there's more to it than just Erica.
How do you feel knowing you have similar aggressive tendencies as your father? So this question made me feel uncomfy because you guys don't really know anything about my dad. Actually,
Listen to how she answers these, right? She is claiming that she is reading these for the first time on this video, right? She has picked them at random and she is reading it for the first time. But she reads the question and goes, when I heard this question, it made me uncomfy. Like she already had an answer prepared. All of this is bullshit. The entire point of these Let's Talk videos is to give her opportunities to play the victim or to just self-glaze the whole time. That's it. The whole concept of the Let's Talk series is just all curated to try to make herself look as good as possible. And it's all fake. I mean, it is all just a glaze session.
Because you guys don't really know anything about my dad, actually, at all.
I mean, she's talked about her dad in the past.
Said, this is kind of like up to me, because during that time, me and Destiny were actually looking for a place to live. Because I did not want to stay living there, because every night I would come home from work and her mom would be drunk and she would just be irate at everything and anything, and she would take it out on me. Mendy got really mad and she said, you know what, then I want you to leave. She was like kicking me out. I remember she went all the way upstairs. She started grabbing my perfume, and I think she threw like 2 down the stairs, 2 of my perfumes. And I started screaming because it's like, I felt so much trauma. This was very much like, wow, okay, so this is how my dad used to act. Me 4 when I just like flat out told him like I'm a lesbian, and he was very accepting. It's so weird because my dad actually used to be extremely homophobic. Like this is when I was a little girl. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Yes, my day is actually going really good. Minus some bad news about my dad again. He's back in the hospital, so that's been hard. I don't know. That's just been really hard, and I'm trying to like not think about it as much, but obviously it's in the back of my mind for sure. So
me and my dad lived in the same trailer, and I didn't see him for weeks on end. You guys might think I'm exaggerating, I'm lying. Call it what you will, but this was my life. My room was on the one end of the trailer and his was on the other, and like the only time I would see him was when I needed something, which was very rare because he actually paid his friends to take care of me and my brother. How he paid them was through drugs. It's pretty ridiculous. Like when I was in high school, again, living with them, I wouldn't be picked up from school until like 3 hours after school. Call my freaking high school, ask them yourself. It happened. And the only reason why I was picked up was because of my dad's friends, drug addict friends.
So she's saying this question made me uncomfy because you guys don't know my dad at all. Basically saying, how do you know how my dad reacts or what my dad does? And how do you know I'm similar to him?
So much trauma. This was very much like, wow, okay, so this is how my dad used to act.
But she talks about her dad. She has talked about everybody in her family forever. So does she not realize that? Does she not know that she talks about everybody in her life? At some point in her YouTube career, she has talked about and explained and sort of described people in her family. Yeah, people pay attention to what you're saying. That's how people know these things.
About how worried they are for you behind your back. Do they say it to your face? Do they not address it at all? I actually have never thought about it. Like, I genuinely don't know if they talk about being worried about me behind my back. Like, I have never even thought about that before. They've never said anything to my face about it. The only time the topic of like weight comes up is if I bring it up first. Did you have a crush on Crystal?
Yeah, I wonder why. Can you imagine being a family member of Amberlynn Reed and saying, hey, do you think you should be eating that? Or how's your weight loss going? Or something like that. She would blow a gasket. Yeah, no, you don't want to deal with the wrath of Amberlynn if you bring up her weight before she does.
Did you have a crush on Crystal's dad? Oh my God, another question that makes me so freaking uncomfortable. Crystal's dad genuinely was like a dad to me. We got extremely close in that way. The dynamic we had was very father-daughter, and like I was planning on being with Crystal for the rest of my life, so he was like a father-in-law to me.
Well, I think, and I could be wrong, but from what I remember hearing, Crystal's parents really didn't like Amberlynn very much, at least towards the end of their relationship, because they were constantly paying for things for Amber because she wouldn't get a job. She wouldn't do anything. She sat on her ass, and they paid for all her stuff and gave her like an allowance and stuff. And Amber was just such an entitled brat about it. She kept complaining that they weren't giving her enough. So I don't think that's right at all. I think she's rewriting history here. And again, I would love to hear from Crystal. I know that she doesn't do anything online, but if she heard that, I'd love to hear what she has to say, because I don't think they liked Amber at all. But of course, Amber loves to rewrite history like this because she likes to portray herself as somebody who, no matter where she goes or who she encounters, everybody just loves her. Everybody just wants her around, because in real life, nobody does.
Do you see any similar behaviors between yourself and your biological father? I genuinely am like a lot like my mom, and I feel like my brother, the one that's closer to me in age, the one that's
okay. Again, she is randomly picking these questions, and this is the second one about her dad, and then also about Crystal's dad. Like, what? Again, this whole video is just total bullshit glaze session.
a year and a half younger than me, I feel like he is a lot like my dad. Do you secretly fear getting to a normal size? No. Looking back,
she has said before that she is afraid of losing weight because she's afraid she'll lose her YouTube audience. She is pretty convinced that the only reason people watch her is because of her weight. And also, I think she's afraid of having loose skin, too. I think she's just gotten so used to looking like this. She's like, I'd rather look like this than have a bunch of loose skin. But I think it's mostly because she knows, or she thinks, that the only reason people watch her is because she's obese.
Do you think it was okay to keep expecting Destiny to drive you around and be responsible for you post-breakup? This actually reminds me of an Instagram message that I received like a couple weeks ago. Let me go see if I can find it. Hold on. I found it. Why was Beck allowed to rely on you after the breakup, but people are pissed that you relied on Destiny once a week for groceries after you two broke up? Destiny put you in that position. You moved to Kentucky for her, and then she broke up with you months later after cheating on you. You didn't know anyone there. You didn't have a car. You didn't have anything. So with everyone's logic of how Destiny didn't need to be there for you after the breakup, then you didn't have to be there for Beck. Beck was in this position because of you, and you were in that position because of Destiny. There's no sympathy for you because you needed groceries once a week, but they expected you to pay for Beck's whole life after the breakup, after everything you already did for them while you were together. Make it make sense.
After everything you already did for them while you were together, she is still coming after Beck. So these are completely different situations. When you and Destiny broke up, you had YouTube. Now, you weren't making a huge living, but you were making enough that you could survive and live on your own. You refused to get a driver's license, so that's on you. So the only reason you needed Destiny to do anything for you is because you put yourself in that position. Now, Beck was in a different situation. They had their own car, but you screwed them out of all their money, right? So at the breakups, at the Destiny breakup, you had your own money. You could afford to buy your own stuff, but you couldn't drive anywhere because you refused to get a driver's license. Beck, on the other hand, when you broke up, you had basically not let them get a job. And you can say all day long that you did, but you didn't. Because you said, oh yeah, I said they could get a job. In fact, I encouraged them to get a job. But in the same sentence, you said, I was manipulative of their time, and I didn't want them to be out of my sight for more than a few minutes at a time. You were completely reliant on Destiny due to your own choices and your own kind of mentality and the way you handle yourself. Beck was reliant on you because you put them in that situation by withholding all their money. They deserved far more money than you gave them because those streams would not have made nearly as much money and not had nearly as many views if Beck hadn't been with you. And I think that pisses you off that people liked Beck more than they liked you.
And sorry if this is triggering, but why did you have to treat Beck like a child during their renal failure? But everyone says that your cancer should have been taken care of by you because you're an adult. These people lack such brain skills that it frightens me to even be a part of this community. Whoa.
No. They tried to get you to go to the doctor, and you're such a stubborn ass, you didn't go. So then, yes, it's on you. What else can they do? And you said yourself that they were there for you the whole time during the cancer stuff, by your side the entire time. On the other hand, the renal failure thing, there wasn't something that Beck could have done different. There wasn't like an obvious sign that was going on over and over again that they could be like, hey, Beck, maybe you should go to the doctor. And Beck was like, nah, I'm good. And then has renal failure. That didn't happen. So somebody's lacking brain skills. And I think it's this commenter for not just thinking about the situations. They're completely different.
Yup. I'm genuinely just gonna leave that there because damn. Amber, I care about you. Can you please stop lying about how much you're eating? You might think it's harmless, but you're definitely making people like me eat even less because I want to stay healthy. So when I do what I ate today videos, those are 100% accurate. 9 times
Bullshit. No way. There is no way on this Earth or Mars or Venus that she is only eating 2,600 calories a day. Even with the Dimas, she would be losing weight. She lost 1 pound and she's at 517 now, she claims. And she's claiming she's only eating 2,600 calories. I eat 2,500 calories a day, usually a little bit less, but I allot myself 2,500 calories a day-ish. And I jog for 30 minutes or so a day. So I get enough exercise to kind of offset some of it. But there's just no way that she's really eating 2,600 calories and only loses 1 pound, or is maintaining basically.
out of 10, I'm doing what I ate today videos because I am on track. It is hard for me to film what I ate today videos when I'm off track because it's shameful. It's embarrassing. Like, why do I want to show that? Plus, I know the type of reaction that I will receive.
That's the whole point. That's what they're saying, is you're lying about being on track. Nobody's saying you should film the off-track days. They're just saying you are eating more than you're saying. You should be honest about that. But she won't be, you know? And this is dangerous. It really does get people to think that eating 2,600 calories will cause you to maintain at 500 something pounds. And that's just not true. And I think she intentionally dodged that question by pretending to misunderstand it and say, I don't film my off-track days. That has nothing to do with it. Your off-track days are not the point. The point is that you're lying about what you're eating when you claim to be on track.
Just out of curiosity, I'm also a diabetic. Do you take medications for health problems? So first of all, you said also a diabetic. I'm not a diabetic. I'm not even a pre-diabetic. And no, I don't take any medication at all.
All those questions were so stupid and obviously picked by her. And I don't know, man. Like the diabetic, she just wanted to be able to tell you, I'm not a diabetic, not even a pre-diabetic. So there.
All right, you guys, now it is time for the interview. That means you guys get to interview me using voice memos. And the way you can do that is go to my Instagram. If you're unable to send me a voice memo, just send me a little microphone emoji. I will send you a smile.
Somebody's going to say that was a fart.
Is go to my Instagram.
But it was probably a motorcycle or something. But you know what? It was a fart. Ha ha ha. Amberlynn farted. That's for trashing Beck earlier, shithead.
Smiley face emoji back, and then you can send your voice memo. And I do not care if you use AI voice generator. I can understand if someone does not want their voice in my video. I will not care. So if you sent me...
Here we go. This is her giving herself permission to use AI from now on. Because now, if somebody says, hey, you're using AI, she'll go, yeah, somebody is. It's fine. I told them that they can. So now, if she wasn't before, which, I mean, come on. But now she has permission. Now she can do it all she wants. Because she's got an excuse.
A voice memo weeks and weeks ago, you still have a chance to be chosen because I choose old ones and I choose new ones. All right, let's get into it.
Can you see yourself?
Did you see that smirk?
I choose new ones. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's get into it.
Look at that. That is, I don't know how to describe Duper's Delight better than that. Like, that is perfect. She knows what's about to happen is just total bullshit.
Can you see yourself doing social media for the rest of your life, or do you think that you'll choose another career path someday? Slay.
Slay. I can genuinely see myself doing YouTube for the rest of my life. I feel like YouTube is one of those...
Yeah, what the fuck else would you do? Like, what a stupid thing to say. Like, you can't say, yeah, I can see myself doing YouTube for the rest of my life. Yeah. Because you can't do anything else. She has no skills. She has no talents. She has no training. She has no intelligence, honestly. So she can't do anything else. She is so lucky that she found a niche here on YouTube where she can make some money doing this. But yeah, she said, I guess I could do YouTube for the rest of my life. Like, you're stuck doing YouTube. You have to do YouTube for the rest of your life. So, she really is just 100% delusional. I would love to know, like, if we asked her, what talents do you think you have? Because I haven't seen any.
Those things as like ever growing. And it's kind of like a TV show. Like people tell me all the time, like, Amberlynn, you're my reality show.
You said you prefer dieting over exercise. Have you looked into the benefits of exercise, or have your opinions changed at all? Love you, by the way.
This is the first one that actually sounded like AI to me. But yes, the benefits of exercise is definitely, it's really good for your heart. It helps with your stamina. It's good to get your blood flowing. I genuinely don't feel like it has to be used to lose weight. You can lose.
I mean, yeah, we know exercise is good, but she's not going to do it ever. She claims that she can walk for an hour and a half, but no, she can walk for maybe 10 minutes. And the problem is, exercise at first, especially when you're starting to get used to it, is hard, and it's hard to stick with it. So she won't do it. Anything that's a little bit hard, she won't do it.
Weight without exercising. But for me, exercising is really good for your heart health. And that's why I got a Fitbit, because I want to start walking more.
Hey there, Amber.
Well, she's got the Fitbit, so, you know, that's half the battle.
Subscriber for a while, and I wanted to say that I'm really proud of you for persevering despite what goes on around you.
They said they're proud of her for persevering, even with all the hate. That's like if you called Diddy and said, I'm so proud of you for persevering through everything everybody's saying about you. She's a horrible person. She's a narcissist. She's an abuser. So the hate that you're talking about is people calling her out on her bad behavior. She's not persevering through it. She's ignoring it so that she doesn't have to take any accountability ever.
My question is hobby related though, and I was wondering if you've ever tried crocheting before, because Legos, like, they have a lot of attention to detail and stuff, so I thought maybe you'd like crochet too, because you can buy cute yarn and you can make like accessories for yourself or for Twinkie. And is it something that you've ever tried, or maybe you would try for fun in the future? Have a good rest of your morning.
So that's a real person, it sounds like. And who are these people? I don't know, man. I don't get it. Even if you don't know the background, even if you don't know anything about her, you can watch her for a few minutes and it's really obvious that she is completely full of shit. I don't know, man.
Oh, thank you so much. And I have tried to crochet. I've tried to knit, I've tried to sew. None of those things like compute in my brain. Like
yeah. like I said earlier, she has no skills, no talents. The only thing that she can do, right, the only hobbies that she's ever had have been following instructions. Puzzles, Legos, those little gym pictures or whatever where you put the little gems on there, and coloring books. That's the only hobby she's ever had because she's not creative. She has no skills at all. So the fact that she thinks she could do anything outside of YouTube and just talking about herself is laughable.
Genuinely just can't figure it out.
Okay, first of all, I'm so honored. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm a painter and I love to binge your content while I paint. I think I just like the sound of your voice. I like to hear about your introspective. I like to hear about your story. So thank you for putting that out to the world because there are people that appreciate you and enjoy it.
Why though? Why are you enjoying it? Why? Why? It's so dumb. Her story is so full of shit. Her perspective is so stupid. She has no clue what she's talking about. Why would you ever think she has some kind of insight into anything? Oh my God. She just loves talking about herself. That's all this is. That's all it's ever been.
My question though is that I know that you're a Miley girl just like I am, and I wanted to know if you have heard any of the
Oh, wait, she's another one.
Wait, don't say that one. Don't say that again. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I wanted to know if you've listened to the first 3 drops of the new album. So it's supposed to be a visual album, but what I think you'll find really interesting is the first song is literally just poetry over ambient music.
I don't care about any of this shit. And the fact that she said I'm honored at the beginning, like, I hate this. Who the fuck are these people? This person is a, like, abusive narcissist who has zero regard for anybody else other than herself and will do anything to get what she wants, including stepping on and hurting other people. And aside from that, even without all that, she's just so dumb and so full of shit. She parades around like she's an expert at everything, and she knows nothing. She knows nothing. And it's so obvious. Everything she says, if you actually look into it, it's almost all wrong. And every once in a while, if she gets something right, it's mostly by accident. She doesn't know anything. Stop thinking she's some kind of inspiration. She's not. In fact, she is a detriment to society. She is a net negative.
And I know that you love to write poetry. I know that you love poetry. And I would be curious to hear what your opinions on this upcoming album will be like. I love you, Amberlynn. I hope you have a great day. Also, your hair has been looking amazing recently. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Yes, I am so excited for Miley's new music. I love Miley Cyrus, and the fact that it's gonna be like a whole film title, I'm like, oh yeah, pop off. So the songs I see so far in music videos, and first of all, she looks so beautiful, and I love music. And when I first heard something beautiful, we got chorus. My job is
So she picked this one because she just wanted to talk about Miley Cyrus. You know? She picks these, for sure.
I just got a message from someone that said Jordy is a Trump supporter, so okay.
I don't think so. I would be really surprised if he was a Trump supporter. You see what she did there, right? With the little, like, I just got a message that Jordy's a Trump supporter. Okay, well, weird. You just do with that information what you will, and moves on. It's the same way she did with Mr. Snowflake when she goes, yeah, and apparently like he cheats on his wife and that's okay. But anyway, moving on. And it's just, you know, it's just stupid shit. I think she thought she was going to cause a stir with that, but I don't think anybody's going to either believe her or care, honestly.
It's hectic.
Hi, hello from the UK, Amber. My question to you is, what is 3 things you would change about your past relationships and friendships? AKA, just 3 things you would have done differently. It doesn't matter if it's from your relationship with Beck or from your relationship with Tommy or from like your friendship with Alexis or anybody else. What is 3 things you would do differently?
Okay.
Also, I'm a very big fan. Thank you for your reply on my birthday.
Aww.
I'm so nervous to do this. Thank you.
Aww. Thank you. You did great. So 3 things that I would change in my past relationships are: 1, not as controlling. 2, learn how to regulate my emotions more so I'm not as sensitive and my emotions aren't as like hyper. Like I'm too hyper aware of everything. So I notice everything. So then it makes me super sensitive and it all kind of just goes in this like cycle. So definitely that. And 3, not being so anxiously attached.
That's it. Really? That's what she would have done different out of all of her relationships? Really? Not treating Beck like shit and being so self-centered and throwing fits and tantrums. God, I don't even know really what to say about that. She is so narcissistic and so delusional that out of everything that has happened in all of her relationships, it's just my emotions, you guys. I need to regulate my emotions better. That's all. She is something else, man. She is just the worst. I mean, this is true narcissism.
Amberlynn, baby girl, listen to me. I am drunk as absolute shit. I know I've only got a minute, but I need you to know my BFF Rachel. I know she sent you a little microphone recently, so you know you're going to get an audio message from her. But honestly, you need to listen to what she got to say. You know she's being a little bit passive aggressive, but she's just trying to help. You know she the home dog for real. Don't ever let women like Rachel bring you down.
What?
JK, she's just trying to help. Bring her up, babes. Bring her up. But let's be honest, I got a few more seconds. You are crazy, girl. I was in a relationship like that, and that was just crazy. Don't ever do that shit again. From her end and from yours, baby girl. Mwah. Love you, hectic Amby.
I'm sorry. Let me go find Rachel's voice memo because I am lost right now. That was funny. Oh, this says Rachel. Oh my God. Is this the Rachel? Okay.
Are we gonna have our last show?
Hey Amber, I'm a little drunk, but I wanted to say that I also have borderline personality disorder, but to a certain extent, you can't use it as an excuse.
Pop off.
It's an explanation only.
It's an explanation. I mean, we're agreeing so far. Keep going.
Yeah, but that's not what you do. You use it as an excuse, and that's the problem. She doesn't understand the difference. She doesn't take accountability. She thinks she's using it as an explanation, not an excuse, but then whenever she says, yeah, I did that, but it's because of my BPD, that's not taking accountability. It's not, I did that because I have BPD. It's, I have BPD and I did that. In fact, if you were trying to explain that you did something wrong, you don't even need to mention BPD because it's you. You made the choice. You did the action. The fact that you have BPD is just in the background. God, this is really frustrating because she is using it as an excuse. Full stop.
Take a step back and think, what if I was the problem? I promise.
Girly pop, relatable. I go to my journal entries. They all say, what if I am the problem? Have you ever heard of the song TV by Billie Eilish? The end where it's like, maybe I'm the problem, maybe I'm the problem. It says it over and over and then the audience joins in and it's like this.
So even if that's true, I don't believe that she has ever thought that she could be the problem. The actual problem is that she says, am I the problem? Nope, I'm not the problem. And if she ever does say, oh, yeah, I was kind of the problem, it was my BPD. My BPD caused me to be the problem. But she won't actually acknowledge the actions that she took to cause her to be the problem.
This whole beautiful moment of like everyone just saying, maybe I'm the problem. When that part comes on, I literally feel my soul like leave my body because I'm like, bro, maybe I am the problem. So relatable. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep doing this.
Thousands of people don't hate you just because you're fat. You can be
There is a lot of people who hate me just because I'm fat. I will say that. But
no, they hate you and you're fat. Most people hate you because of who you are. And the problem is you are mistaking when people are like coming at you for your weight and coming at you for weight loss and stuff like that is because you are so bad at it and you're so stupid about it while acting like an absolute expert that they're trying to hold you accountable. They're trying to point out what's wrong with what you're saying and you take it as hate. Any criticism, constructive or not, is hate. But this is the problem with Amberlynn and accountability. This person is trying to point out some pretty important things to her. Like, you know, you can't use BPD as an excuse. And she's like, oh, totally agree. Yep. I am on board. And people don't hate you because you're fat. I mean, yeah, they do. And then she says, you got to think, what if you're the problem? And she goes, yep, I do that. So she has convinced herself that she's already doing all these things, but she's not. She's either lying about it or she's delusional and thinking that she's actually thinking, am I the problem? Because her answer is always no. So this is why you can't hold Amberlynn accountable, because she will just claim that she's already doing all the stuff that you're telling her to do.
There's a lot of people who hate me just because I'm fat. I will say that. But that could be in a whole separate thing. Like, there are people who hate me because I'm fat, and then there's people who hate me because I have done things that are kind of hecticana, and they've been online, so people have seen that.
Oh, I would love for her to explain what these hecticana things are, because I don't think they're going to be what we think they are.
Asshole. And you take therapy seriously. Everyone leaves and quote unquote turns on you because you're the problem. That's harsh, but your online behavior portrays you as a mean ass bitch. And your past partners just show that it's true. I hope that you
she drunk
and really take therapy.
Did you notice how she was saying, I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree. You're right. I'm on board. But then as soon as they say your past exes are proving all this right, oh, you're drunk.
Therapy seriously and get your BP tree on control.
BP tree?
It's really serious and you need to fix it.
Girl, relatable. We both need to fix it. That was a lot. I love a drunk voice.
Wait, we both?
It's really serious and you need to fix it.
Girl, relatable. We both need to fix it.
We both need to fix it. The girl said, you need to get your BPD under control and you need to fix it. And she says, girl, we both need to fix it. She just can't take criticism. As soon as somebody says something real, she's like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm already there. I already did it.
That was a lot. I love a drunk voice memo. That was fun.
I just really wanted to know.
See, that person actually said stuff that we all wish we could say to Amberlynn. And just so you know, if you say it to her face, this is what happens. Is she just goes, that was so fun. It turns out I love having people tell me what I'm doing wrong. Turns out it's not so bad. Because it turns out I'm doing everything right anyway.
If you would ever do a video talking about, repairing your relationship with your mom, because I know that you two have been through a lot, and it probably was a long process to work through everything, and you guys heal from everything that happened. And I just want to say that I really love you, and don't listen to the haters, honestly.
See, please listen to the haters. People are trying to help you. Oh my God, I hate this. I hate this.
I love you too. And I probably would not do a video talking about mine and my mom's relationship and like repairing it or anything like that, because I feel like I just don't want that subject touched. And I also think that's like a big reason of why it's like I don't talk a lot about foster care or the things that I went through before I went to foster care or in foster care, because they're just...
She talks about foster care all the time. Now, she doesn't always go into like specifics, but I think that's by design. I think she is very vague because it's not nearly as bad as she claims it was. I think she loves the idea of being a victim and getting sympathy, and so she makes it sound like it was really, really bad, you guys, but I don't think it was nearly as bad as she claims.
There just are certain subjects that I'm just like, I don't want that touched by the internet.
As somebody who also lives in Oklahoma, I'm interested to know, what are 2 things you like about living in Oklahoma, and what are 2 things you don't like about living in Oklahoma?
That's hard to answer, because I feel like my answers for like what I like isn't really because it's Oklahoma itself. But 1, I love being near my mom. And 2, I love my apartment. So I don't know if that's like Oklahoma itself.
That has nothing to do with Oklahoma.
I will say in Oklahoma, I feel a lot more accepted. People don't look at me like I'm a monster. People don't look at my legs and like, oh my God, they're huge. I feel more accepted. 2 things I don't like. I do not like that there's like no mountains. Like, where are the mountains? It is so flat. And I also absolutely despise that I live in Tornado Alley. Like, what?
Hey, Amber.
I have lived in Oklahoma for 42 years. And almost 42 years. And I have had tornado sirens go off, and I've had several tornado warnings and stuff like that, but knock on wood, I've never experienced an actual tornado.
Amberlynn, I'm actually so excited to send you this voice message. So my question for you is, would you ever consider getting weight loss surgery again? I know you did in the past and things didn't work out, but would you ever consider it again? No matter what.
No, because weight loss surgery requires work and effort. So she can say whatever she wants. I think she's going to say no, but she will never get weight loss surgery because she can't handle the work involved.
I support you, so excited to see your answer.
Aw, thank you. But right now in like my current life, without giving like a million different reasons, my answer is no. Weight loss surgery is not something that I'm interested in, but that doesn't mean that I will not change my mind in the future.
Hi, Amberlynn. So I wanted to ask you, my question is, have you ever thought about doing like public or like in-person meetups, or even like at some point going to like different states and like meeting people in person?
She can't really do that, right? She only traveled to Wisconsin because she was convinced she was moving there. She was just going to barge her way in and just set up camp. She claims that she came home on her own, that she decided to come home. But I don't believe that for a second. I think she intended to move in. That's why she took her pets. That's why she took basically everything. And she was there for like 3 months. I think she intended to move in. I think that's the only reason she went. If she didn't have the idea of moving in, I think Emily would just have always come to visit her. So no, she will never actually go visit somewhere else just for a visit.
Person?
No, I'm way too anxious for that. Like, I have a lot of paranoia, and the whole time I'd be like, oh my God, is someone going to show up with? And that is me being absolutely, without a doubt, 100% transparent right now. I love going in public and meeting you guys. Like, I am recognized a lot, and it is special.
So again, she claims almost every time she goes out in public that she is recognized. And she always says that they took pictures and stuff. But there's never a picture of it. You would think, even the ones that were like afraid to show the picture or whatever, you would think somebody somewhere would have had a picture of them and Amberlynn. But there just aren't any. But I will say, I can understand being nervous about going out in public and being at a scheduled place at a scheduled time, as hated as she is. But I don't think that's really what it's about. I just don't think she would travel.
To me, and it means a lot to me. You guys are always super sweet, but like designating a time and a place would make me way too anxious. I would genuinely be too afraid that the wrong person would show up. That could just be my paranoia, but like stranger and crazier and more hectic things have happened.
Hello.
So, you know, my first thought is that's a little bit victim-y. You know, she's playing the victim, but man, I don't know. There are some crazies out there that take stuff way too far. So I'll give her that.
Amberlynn, I've been watching you for a long time. My name is Miranda, and I've been watching since around 2019.
Wow.
So the Beck era. Anyway, my question for you is, I understand that YouTube is your main
They've been watching since 2019, and yet they like her.
source of income. What plans do you really have for yourself in case YouTube were to fall through or something were to happen and you had to find a new source? Thank you.
I would just apply for other jobs, and thankfully I have enough money in the bank and saved up that I wouldn't be like too scared or too worried about it. But it would just be like anyone else getting like fired or laid off or like...
What the fuck could she do? What other job could she possibly do? It would have to be something from home, right? She can't go do anything somewhere. So the only thing she would really be able to do is like data entry, where she's just copying and following instructions. But she would get tired of that real fast, and she's too lazy to stick to anything. So she's stuck with YouTube. And if that falls through, honestly, she will burn through her money, and then she will go on disability. That's it.
Their company that they work at no longer exists or whatever. Like, you would just find another job.
Amber, I love you. And I was just wondering, what would you do if Zachary Michael never came back to YouTube?
Well, he did come back, and I wouldn't really do anything. I would be concerned for his mental health because, like, obviously his mental health got really bad if he did.
Yeah, all of a sudden now she's going to say that she's concerned. Bullshit. She's too much of an asshole and a narcissist to be concerned about anybody else.
Didn't return. But then at the same time, I'd be like, well, he's improving his mental health because he's not returning to something that made his mental health bad, if that makes sense.
After the way she treated Zachary Michael, this is pretty infuriating to hear her talk like this.
But I wouldn't do anything. I would still just keep making my content as per usual.
Hey, Amberlynn. So, remember when you tried mayo and ramen and everybody kind of lost their minds and was super judgy?
I did not know they were super judgy.
It was actually like, okay, Chef Lynn, that might actually slap because
I mean, it's a little weird, but I don't think anybody freaked out about it. I think everybody was like, I mean, of course, it's Amberlynn putting mayo in something, you know? I don't think anybody was really all that surprised.
I do like when my ramen's creamy. I usually do milk and butter in mine. But one day I ran out of milk and I thought of you, and so I put in mayo and sour cream, and honestly, it did slap. So I have to know, are there any other food combos or things like you secretly love that the internet might think is weird or roast you for? Please be brave and share it for us adventurous little foodies. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So when I did the whole mayo and ramen thing, I actually had people contact me saying like, it's really not that weird. They do it in other cultures. And I was like, oh, so maybe that's how my cousin originally learned. But
What other cultures? Wait a minute. You're telling me that there are other cultures that put mayo in ramen? I would be very surprised if Asian cultures put mayo in anything. What other cultures could put mayo? Oh my God, what a stupid thing to say. And maybe I am, shooting myself in the foot, and maybe I'll eat my own words, but what culture could that be? I don't know.
I'm telling you, so good. Try it. But some other weird food combinations that I like. I really like a bagel with cream cheese and then putting like hot Cheetos in the middle of it and then like smashing it together and like eating it like a sandwich. That's really good. Pickles and peanut butter. I promise it's actually good. It sounds disgusting. I'm telling you, sounds horrific, but it's good. If you want another ramen one, I have a whole ramen recipe I can give you guys. Like, it's a whole moment. There's a lot of ingredients that goes into it. Maybe I can do it for a YouTube video sometime, but I'm gonna do a little easier one for you. Literally just cook taco.
That one kind of sounded like a stomach rumbling. Hold on, let's see.
For a YouTube video sometime.
Did that sound like a rumbly and the tumbly to you? I mean, maybe it was Twinkie growling or something, but it sounded like a rumbly tumbly to me. Ugh.
And then put the taco meat, once it's cooked, in the ramen. It's like a taco ramen. And it sounds so weird, but it's so good. Like, chef's kiss. I'm actually craving that now.
So she's going to make it and eat it. And she's not going to log it. She's going to still say that she ate 2,600 calories, but she's eating probably around 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day to maintain at 517.
All right, you guys, now it is time for Tea or Tale, where I talk about some rumors. Are they tea?
Where she supposedly debunks basically any rumor that she has heard or anybody's heard.
Or are they tale? Let's get into it. All Amberlynn does in her members' live streams is show the ceiling. This is such a hectic statement to make because I'm on live for 2 hours.
See, this is what I'm talking about, right? The ones that she debunks are so stupid that nobody thinks this. Like, nobody has ever thought that she only shows the ceiling in her lives. The complaint is that she shows the ceiling too much. But this is what she does, man. She takes a really stupid rumor and goes, yeah, obviously that's dumb. I don't do that. Like, nobody thinks you do.
And I have 2 pets and I have myself. So when I show the ceiling, it is because I'm like, oh, we need a break. It is either because I am peeing, I'm feeding Twinkie. Like 2 weeks ago, Wasabi took a poop in the litter box. And whenever he poops in the litter box, I like to get that out with the quickness. So I literally said,
she's saying that because of all the rumors that have been going around that she doesn't clean the litter box and she doesn't clean up basically at all. So she has to make sure I clean it up so fast, you guys. Like, as soon as it happens, I catch it when it's falling right out of Wasabi's butt. No way. There's no way she is cleaning that up as soon as it happens. I bet you that litter box gets full before she starts cleaning it out. Or she just throws the whole litter box away. She's mentioned that before too, where she will just let it fill up and then just throw the whole thing away and buy a new one.
said, hold on, you guys, Wasabi just went poop. So let me go clean the litter box real quick. What's the scratching sound? It's the Wasabi just using the litter box. Oh, he took a dump for real. All right, I'm gonna go pee, clean that litter box, and then I will be right back, okay? Or it's because Twinkie wants to get up on the couch and she doesn't want to jump, so I have to.
Again, she's saying she's going to clean the litter box, but she's just saying that because she thinks it makes her sound good.
Or it's because Twinkie wants to get up on the couch and she doesn't want to jump, so I have to pick her up. It's only ever things that like I need to genuinely go do and attend to. And sometimes, which it hasn't happened in the last few weeks, thankfully, but sometimes I get really anxious and I just need a minute, like genuinely a minute before I actually have an anxiety attack on live stream. I do not want that. So out of a 2-hour live stream, maybe there's 5 minutes of you guys just communicating together, but thankfully my supporters.
It's more than that. It's at least 20 minutes per live. And again, I don't watch them anymore, but yeah, it was a lot longer than that. I mean, it was enough that it became a meme, and I am still bamboozled that people pay $10 fucking a month to watch that nonsense. It is literal, absolute, grade A garbage. It is so stupid. Paying $10 a month. You know what else you can get for $10 a month? So it's $12 a month, but pretty close. You can get Xbox Game Pass, and you don't even have to own an Xbox. You can stream games onto your phone, your tablet, your TV, your computer, all kinds of stuff, and play basically any Xbox game you want. Unlimited for as long as you're subscribed. You can play 100 games if you want to, every month, for $12. Or, for basically the same price, you can listen to Amberlynn talk about herself for 2 hours a week. What the hell are people thinking paying that much to listen to such an idiot say nothing for 2 hours?
Are extremely understanding that I do have things that I have to do in my home. And a lot of people tell me, Amberlynn, do not hold your bladder. Like, get up and pee if you have to pee. And I'm not going to feel guilty for that. Amberlynn goes to bingo 3 times a week. I go to bingo once a week. There was a time in the near...
Again, it's these rumors, these really important rumors that nobody cares about. Tea or tail, more like stupid and bullshit.
Past that I went to bingo 3 times a week. Trust me, that never happens. But I go once a week. So I tried very hard to find a rumor that was true. So I don't even have a third rumor today. Normally I like to do 3 of them. So I literally went to Instagram and I was like, send me rumors. And every rumor that I saw, I was just like, this is dumb. I've talked about this before a million different times. Well, that's not true. Well, that's something.
There were 5,000 rumors or things brought up in the Beck and Destiny live streams or Beck's individual videos that she could address, but she won't. Anything that actually has substance, she's not going to address that.
My lawyer said I can't talk about. I was trying so...
Oh, wait, what?
A million different times. Well, that's not true. Well, that's something my lawyer said I can't talk about. I was trying so...
Okay. Yeah, she said, my lawyer said I can't talk about this. And that's, of course, that's about the ankle and all of the, ways. And here's the thing. It wasn't really rumors. There were no rumors going around. It was... people have been showing all of these interactions that Amberlynn had that were either on camera or posted to some social media showing that she is really creepy with minors. So I'm not sure what she thinks a lawyer could possibly do for her because all of those things were filmed or all those things have been posted to the internet. So I don't believe she has a lawyer, but I just think it's funny that she says that because she really wants the ankle to think that she's coming after him, but she's not.
So hard to find one that was true, and genuinely there's just none that are true right now because it's shit that I've talked about ad nauseum.
Hey, ad nauseum again.
All right, on to the next thing, which is bad choices. We're gonna choose 5 of these and answer them. And I've had people who are like, why does she do this part? This is so weird and random. It's because I like weird and random. I like the type of questions that they ask. It's things that are so crazy absurd, and I like absurd things sometimes. Would you share?
She just likes talking about herself. And these are the only cards that she could find that just ask her questions that she can talk more about herself.
Shave your eyebrows off for $1,000. No. Have you ever secretly thought that you would make a really good gangster? No? What? Would you never have sex again in your life for $3 million? Oh my God, that is crazy. The answer is no. I would rather have sex than have $3 million. Have you ever been...
First of all, bullshit. Because she claims that she's some, I don't even want to talk about it, but she claims she's active. But you know that once she gets in a relationship, that just doesn't happen. It's too complicated. And I just can't imagine the smell, dude. Ugh.
Been caught having sex. I've never been caught having sex, but I've been interrupted before. And they didn't know. Have you ever thrown a party for a pet? Yes, I have. So those weren't so bad this time, but I noticed that the 5 that I did in the last video.
Gross. Shut up.
They were all very overly sexual. Sometimes that happens. And I am very much an open book. I'm 34 years old. My analytics show that no children watch me, really. So if there is a...
Yeah, just remember, she is 34 years old. So just always keep that in mind. Everything she says, everything she does, she is 34 years old.
Child watching me, stop watching. Everyone who watches me is above 18 and I'm an open book. I'm allowed to talk about what I want. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed. This has been over an hour long, so I have a lot to edit down and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.
This was infuriating, and the fact that I think the worst part for me was that voice memo of this person trying to actually get through to her and say some stuff that we would all like to say. So there were two problems with it. Number one, she was drunk, and I don't really care about that other than the fact that it gave Amber an excuse not to listen to it. Because at one point when they actually brought up her exes, she was like, oh, she's drunk. She's drunk, so she clearly doesn't know what she's talking about. So that was a problem. And then the other problem is it showed how Amberlynn takes accountability, or would handle it if somebody actually called her out to her face regarding some of the things that we would like to call her out about, you know? Like if somebody goes up to her and says, hey, not everybody hates you because you're fat. We see her response. Or, hey, you can't use BPD as an excuse. And she says, yeah, I agree. It's not an excuse, but it is an explanation. And then the girl says, have you ever thought that you could be the problem? Yeah, I think that all the time. Yep. But the problem is her answer is always no. And she will never internalize the fact that she is the problem. She is the common denominator. So that was an actually pretty insightful video, because now we know how she would respond if somebody actually called her out with real criticism right to her face. She just lets it wash right over. She just pretends like she's already got it taken care of because she's delusional. So anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.